Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here, and you're on the Zi10 Network. We got a great little treat today as I'm going to be showing you an interesting new camera. They just came out with this new one. It's called the Play Touch, and it is a fully touchable screen camcorder that has a lot of functionality, a lot of features to it. We're going to be taking a look at the camera. We're going to be comparing it to the old version, the Zi8, and let you know, is this something you should use to upgrade, or you should buy, or whatnot. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers, and welcome down to the Geek Bar, where we're going to review a great little product. The product I've been using, they've upgraded it to the newest version, and that is the Kodak Play Touch camera. Technically, the Zi10 camera. Now, of course, I've had the Zi8s for a long time, and I've used them. I got two of them myself, and I use them for all my back channel content. I use them for primary videos and stuff like that. Well, the new one is called the Play Touch, and it's also known as the Zi10. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact, and it does have a touch screen in the back. Now let's compare the two really quick before we can get that out of the way. First thing is they both have 5 megapixel camera sensors. Same f-stops, same aperture, so on and so forth. They both do 5 megapixel on a picture and about 1.6 megapixel when it comes to video. They both go up to 1080p in 1920 by 1080 in 30 frames per second. They both do 720p at 30 and 60 frames per second. And of course, they also do pictures, and they also do regular standard video. So you have pretty much the same thing here in the camera. They both come with the aperture changer, which you can go from near to far and back to near. They both have HDMI. We'll just set this one down for a second here. They both have the ability to hook up to an HDMI system, or they come with a cable where you can hook it up to a regular analog type TV. The USB is a little bit different on this one because it comes with a 5-pin USB DIMM plus the actual USB hookup, which opens up a little bit differently, and you can plug that right into your computer there. Now, the one thing that the Zi10 has that the Zi8 doesn't have is this. They both have the microphone inputs. However, this is not only a microphone input, but also a headphone jack. So you'll be able to, of course, listen to what you've just recorded. Now, like I said, on the back, we've got a big full touch screen. We'll turn this on. Of course, I'll have the close-up review on this. As you can see, the screens are a little bit different. When it comes to the viewable screen, this is a little bit smaller when you look at it this way, and then this is. However, when you go to review, when you go to do anything with this camera, the touch screen becomes very useful. In fact, if we touch on the settings, we'll be able to change the settings, and that 3-inch touch screen really comes into play. Comes great for when we're reviewing content and when we're trimming, because this has an option to actually trim what you just recorded for video. And that's pretty cool too. You can also set it up if you want to do a sepia type shot, a black and white shot, in the 70s look. The Zi8 doesn't have that functionality. They both have a zoom sensor, not that great, but the one problem with the Zi10, it's now part of the touch screen. So you really got to touch down sometimes to get it to zoom in, get it to zoom out, so it might shake out on your video. I did a walk around, and you're seeing those videos as we're speaking here. First of all, the dark shots. Pretty much any type of camera like this, you're going to have problems going into darker rooms, less lighting, and you'll see a lot more pixelization. However, going outside is where during the daytime is where we really show on these cameras. As you can see from the back and forth, you see little to no difference between the Zi8 and the Zi10 or the Play Touch. There's a little bit more functionality, a little change in the color, which looks really nice. In a couple of these shots, you can tell the difference. But for the bottom line is, if you have a Zi8 switching up to the Zi10, unless you want that extra functionality of the sepia and the black and white, otherwise it's, and the trimming, of course, Otherwise, it's pretty much, might want to stick with the Zi8 until things can change around. Now, things can change easily because most of the stuff can be fixed via firmware. So maybe they'll come out with a firmware update and all of a sudden the picture is crystal clear. All of a sudden everything else just snaps out at you. 5 megapixel camera, so you should be able to take some good photos on it. The video camera does really well on video, especially if you want to record something, like your band playing or something like that, or just the kids playing out in the backyard. It's perfect. Stabilization, always been an issue. You walk around, you see some of the stabilization shots. I think the Zi10 works a little bit better with the stabilization, so I'm really happy on that. Prices now, you can now get a Zi8 since they're going out of stock, $100, maybe even less. The Zi10, the Play Touch, is about $229. So if you're into trying to figure out how much you want to really pay for a camera, then that might be a big factor right there of $129. Ultimately, the Play Touch has a lot of great features, and I didn't even talk about the fact that you can actually connect it up and send email and send the video in the email and stuff like that. But there's a lot of great features to actually show you that the Zi10 is a great camera to get if you're looking for a camera. However, if you got a Zi8, unless you're a real big fan of the Zi series, then you probably would want to upgrade. Otherwise, you can stick with your old camera and go from there. Now I'm going to be using both of these in multiple fashions. I'm going to hook up this to the big rig right now, and we're going to see how it sounds too, because that's just as important. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are taking video from the Zi10, the Play Touch camera. And right now, the one thing that I do miss in being on this side of the camera is that little red light that the Zi8 had. But there's probably a reason why they took that little red light out. The audio actually plugs in on the top, so I had to worry about the cord actually getting into the camera lens, and so I had to move that apart. But the cool thing was, I actually had to bring the camera forward 1 foot to actually get in the right frame. Otherwise, you saw extra parts of the frame just didn't look right. You'd see the microphone stand and so on and so forth. So that's a little bit better, which means that if I get shot or I have to interview somebody where I'm only a couple feet away, the Zi8 always felt like I was right on that person, where I have a feeling the Zi10 will actually get a face a little bit better than that. So far so good. What do you think of the audio? There's no difference otherwise than using this camera, the Zi10, as opposed to the Zi8. So that is the Geekazine review of the Zi8 and Zi10. Like I said before, if you've got a Zi8, if you want to upgrade, maybe the $129 for the features, that's pretty cool. However, if you just like this camera as it is, then the $99 version probably will be just for you. If you have any questions or comments, if you'd like to talk about this camera or any of the reviews we do, if you have a product that you'd like to have reviewed, all you have to do is go over to geekazine.com, 608-205-4378. At the Geek Bar, my name is Jeffrey Powers. Until next time, take care.